Hello everyone, Vickieverlie here, the Rock and Roll Prophetess on YouTube, and today we're going to take a look at the upcoming solstice chart from occurring in Eastern Time at December 21st, 2023, 10:27 p.m. on the 21st, but times will vary. There's a lot going on. I'm going to go sign by sign and try to kind of just hone in on how it might affect each sign. I may not address every single thing. It's going to be more of an intuitive thing and kind of see what comes up. And then we're going to go sign by sign and also throw a couple cards for each sign. I've laid out some gemstones to represent what's happening here. So first, a kind of an astrological overview. The solstice is determined when the sun, this represents the sun, moves from Sagittarius and moves into Capricorn, and then it's at 0 degrees of Capricorn, and it makes a shift because it's part of this cardinal cross. So when the sun crosses over any of the cardinal signs and these ingresses, then this is when the seasonal change comes, no matter where you're in northern or southern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere, it signals the beginning of winter and the shortest day of the year. The southern hemisphere, it begins summer and the longest day of the year. But it's always going to signal these seasonal changes. And I've just placed some things around for some of the major aspects. It's conjunct Mercury. This is Mercury. So it's really, and all of these are at low degrees as well, okay? So we've got Sun conjunct Mercury at 0 and 1 degree of Capricorn, and it's trining Jupiter and the Moon. Now the Moon is the Eastern Time moon. That could vary. I don't want to get too astrology, but Eastern Time at 0 Taurus and then 5 Taurus. So we got low degrees, another conjunction of the Moon with Jupiter, dream really big at this time. And then it's also sextiling Saturn and Pisces at 2 degrees of Pisces. So the Sun is going 0 degrees, signaling a new beginning. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets all at 0 to 5 degrees, low degrees, also entering into a new energetic frequency, a new astrological influence. So a lot of big changes, a lot of good things happening. And what I like about it, as far as the sun itself here, the ingress itself of the sun, it is doing trines and sextiles. So these are harmonious aspects. So these are where we can really work with the energy in a harmonious way. Another big thing that I felt worthy, I mean there's a lot in the chart, but the other thing that I didn't want to omit out of this ingress chart, because everything that happens in the ingress is relevant to the energy. And this is setting the tone, or it's an energetic imprint of the upcoming season, till we get to the next ingress, of course, which is going to be Aries, in 3 months. So it's setting the tone, and where all the planets are configure into the tone that's being set, or the energetic imprint for the upcoming, season. So the other big thing that's happening at this time is we have a Venus opposed Uranus. Venus being at 20 degrees of Scorpio and Uranus at 20, is it 20 degrees also? It's a pretty tight orb here, 19 degrees I should say. Yeah, I thought it was a little off. 19 degrees of Taurus. Let me just correct my note over here. So Venus opposed Uranus. I mean, my guys just came through delightful, and I heard in a most delightful way. Dun, 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 ta. If you never watch my videos, the guys come through with music all the time because I'm a lifelong musician, and they speak to me that way. Okay, I believe that's from Mary Poppins, Spoonful of Sugar, right? Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, but no, delightful, surprising, release. Release any expectations and just have a good time. This is setting the tone for the holiday season, This is setting the tone for that last week or so of December when everybody, the emotions are running high. There could be a lot of fun had. There could be a lot of fun surprises. With these new beginnings, we're turning corners and we're starting new chapters in our lives. With the Saturn being involved in a positive way in the sextile, Saturn can really give something a solid foundation in which to build on. Things that are forged at this time can be very strong and long-lasting. Well, Mercury is retrograde, I do believe. Yeah, Mercury's retrograde, so there is a tie into the past, but I feel like the overwhelming, the overwhelming energy, the overwhelming arc of the other planetary things are so much, it's not going to put a damper on the other positive energies that are happening, in other words, okay? All right, let's go through and go sign by sign, and we'll take a quick peek at this stuff, and then we're going to throw a couple cards for each sign. Okay, we're starting with the sign of Aries. So Aries, this, every year, the actual ingress is in your 10th house of career. So 10th house of career, this is, you know, a good time every year. Mercury's retrograde there, but some kind of big career moves. At least with the retrograde, you might be rethinking your plans, going over your plans and ideas, trining this whole thing in the second house, the Jupiter moon energy, and then the Uranus. That's your second house of money. So these career houses are really getting activated. The opposition of Venus is happening over here in your 8th house, which ties into sex and joint finances, but it seems like it might be some kind of money partnership. With the Saturn in the 12th house, this is a long-term transit, and this is wanting you to kind of go over and, you know, maybe dealing with some serious karmic things, but putting them behind you for once and for all. During this time with these trines and sextiles, these kind of things could come into play. You might remember or have memories, or, you know, often we're seeing people in our family, you know, that the people that came before us, the generations before us with the Saturn, or there might be some, you know, warm memories kind of popping up around those things, or traditions that you're carrying through from those kind of old family things, right? All right, let's get 2 cards for our Aries for the upcoming season. What do we have here? We have the 5 of Swords, and then we have the 7 of Swords. So some of you Aries might be really going through some, you know, it is a time when we get into these, sometimes these old family squabbles, you know, and with this Saturn in your 12th, it is a time to really let it go and release it. Also with the Sun in the 10th, beyond being like the career, this is taking that high road, trying to go the high route, trying to live your best life to the apex of your chart. And another thing is the Venus over here, yeah, it can be the money situation and everything. But Venus is love and kindness, and this is one of your houses of the other people. So try to avoid these kind of situations. You know, they're fuel, there could be fuel to the fire and these kinds of things. Mars is in Sagittarius, your ruling planet. It's in the 9th, so take the high road, try a different approach. But overall, your finances could be really picking up. Hey Aries, if you haven't signed up for the year ahead reading on my website and you would still like to get in on it, you have a few weeks left until the end of December. Have a great holiday season, and we're going to move on to the sign of Taurus. Well, Taurus, you've got a lot of action, clearly. You know, you've got the Jupiter moon thing is in your 1st house of self. So you're really drawing in that luck, you're really drawing in that energy, and even the Venus opposed Uranus also is drawing in that luck and good fortune from the Venus energy into your 1st house here. The actual ingress itself happens in your 9th house, and this is every year. So it's a good time to plan travel, because Mercury's retrograde might be a good time to plan travel. Maybe if some of you are putting together some kind of a course, or you're going to do an online seminar, either attending or you're going to put it together yourself, this would be a good time to do that. Saturn in the 11th is you may be seeing old friends and associates, but also maybe thinking over these associations. Do I really want to be in these situations anymore? Okay, Taurus, let's go ahead and get 2 in these friend groups, or, you know, associated with these people anymore, I should say. Taurus, 2 cards for the upcoming season. We've got the Magician, feeling really empowered, not surprising, with that Jupiter in your 1st house and Uranus. And as always, Taurus, you're thinking about some money things. That's also not surprising. Let's try to straighten this out a little bit. How's that? Yeah, not surprising. As far as your money houses, nothing really getting activated, although Venus, your ruling planet and one of the planets of money, is in the 7th house of partnerships. So you're forging ahead, maybe sending out I'm hearing sending out an SOS, the old police tune, sending out an SOS, but you know, you may have some financial connections, or building some kind of foundations through friend groups or through partnerships of some sort. Okay, Taurus, thanks so much for tuning in. Do check your sun, rising, and moon. Don't forget about the year ahead readings that I'm offering for a limited time for the rest of this month. If you haven't got yours and would still like to, it's available on my website. Okay, next we're going to move on to the sign of Gemini. Okay, Gemini, let's see here. you are having, astrology-wise, this whole lineup is in your 12th house. So big callings to the past, especially the moon in the 12th. You know, this is like this nostalgia, callings to the past, the ghosts of Christmas past, thinking about people from a different time that have bygone. But as far as the ingress itself, it's in your 8th house of money and joint finances. So this would be always a good time to look over those things. With the Mercury retrograde, again, it might be more of a looking over than taking any overt positive actions. You're building, Saturn in the 10th here, you're building these long-term career things that are going to be long-standing and have a solid foundation, and it may involve some partnerships here. You've got Venus in the 6th house, so your health should be feeling really robust and feeling really well. And the 6th house also could be doing your creative work. You can make great strides. And maybe with your Uranus opposition, you may be having some big creative breakthroughs even. Okay, let's go ahead and get 2 cards for our Geminis. And Gemini, don't forget about the year ahead reading if you would like to get in on that. And we can go deeper into a lot of these transits for you with Psychic Tarot too. You can check it out on my website. Available for a limited time. Oh, you've got the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune. These are 2 major arcana. And it's also, you know, turning points, big turning points, because Death obviously is a big change. And then the Wheel of Fortune is always turning. The Wheel of Fortune turning is just like the solstices to me turning. You know, we're turning of the seasons. And in the, you know, it's turning to things are brighter. The other thing about the Death card here, though, with your this 12th house action, like I was saying earlier, you could really be feeling these loved ones around this time of year. The veil is thin. You know, people who actually have passed over, you know, maybe kind of coming to you and, you know, sending you messages, sending you dreams, you know. Definitely dreams are going to be really, could be really prolific because the moon is there as well, and all this other planetary stuff, and the 12th house, you know, itself is just, you know, that realm of the subconscious mind and spirit guides and all that kind of stuff. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. Gemini, don't forget about the year ahead readings, and I'm going to move on next to the sign of Cancer. Hello, Cancers, and thank you so much for tuning in for your solstice sneak peek, kind of a turning point. So here's the Cancer on the ascendant, and the solstice every year, the December solstice, is always going to occur in your 7th house. So that part will be true every year. There's always going to be that energy focused on your partnerships, perhaps your marriage partnerships or close friends, but your one-on-one relationships. With Mercury retrograding there, there could be, you know, somebody from the past. We're seeing old friends and family at the holiday season. Not unusual. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, it's not unusual. It's not unusual to be loved. Na, 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 na. What's the last line? That's what they want me to say. Da, 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 da. It's not unusual to hear me cry. Oh, yeah, I don't know if we want to hear that line. Bye, bye. Well, don't be crying, Cancer. I know you guys could be moody and emotional. No, but you know what's happening. You've got some nice stuff. This is all harmonious to you. This is all earth and water. It's all in your element. And you've got Venus transiting your 5th house right now. So talk about being attracting romance, but also attracting fun and just being around children and being childlike and fun and enjoyment and entertainment. So this is a beautiful aspect for you. So don't be crying there if that's the case. And we've got the Saturn in the 7th. This is in your 9th house of like spirituality and stuff like that, higher mind. You know, you could really get some kind of big awakening, maybe through creativity even. This big lineup in Taurus that everything's trining to, this is over here in your 11th house of friends and associates. So it's definitely a time to get out there, socialize, which is part of the season. But sometimes Cancers, you know, you guys want to stay in and just be, you know, you want to crawl in your shell and be kind of crabby and moody. So this, you know, around this time, at least the time of the solstice, give or take a day or two or a couple days after, you know, try to get out there, try to be involved, or at least make those phone calls, or even just jump on social media and check in with people, because it really feels like it is going to like brighten your spirits, you know, quite a bit. Okay, Cancer, so let's take a look here. a fun time to be had by all. You got the Chariot, which is your major arcana card, but journey, success. Some of you may be hearing some big thing about some payment that's coming. The payment's really standing out to me. But money coming, and then this big leap forward. Now you do have 11th house can be money from the career too, and Jupiter is there as well. If you have some intuitive hunches about some kind of financial things, you know, don't just blow it off. Make a note of it, write it down, send that email, or make that note. You know, maybe Mercury's retrograde, you want to wait on it, but don't let it like slip through or slip by. Some of you may be traveling, and while traveling you may make some financial contacts along the way. All right, don't forget about the year ahead reading. If you want to get in on it, you've got a couple weeks left, Cancer. You can find out that on my website. And next we're going to move on to the sign of Leo. Okay, Leo, now let's see here. The actual solstice every year it moves from your 5th house to your 6th house. So, you know, not surprising, everybody around this time of year, what are you going to do for health and fitness? We're going to all start our diets, we're going to eat healthier, but also work stuff too. Now this year with the Mercury retrograde, again, it's maybe more of a planning thing. Let's plan my diet or my fitness routine for the next year, or, you know, write down some, you know, notes about, or maybe something that you're really working on. This beautiful Venus and Uranus stuff, Venus down here in your 4th house, Uranus, you can have unexpected visitors to your home, maybe really delightful. You know, you've got the Jupiter and all this big lineup in your career, so your career could be really hopping right now. You know, big things, planning big things, unexpected, surprising things, new things, breaking on through to the other side, different kinds of career opportunities than you've done in the past. You've got the Saturn in the 8th, so if anybody looking for some kind of financial investor, the long-term investment or partner with financially, or sponsor or backer or something like that, that could be, you know, you could be establishing these connections at this time. Okay, let's get a couple of cards for our Leo friends. We've got the Strength card, but I always associate it with you because there is the lion on it. And the 3 of Rods, your ship is coming in. So having that strength and patience because the ship is coming in. With the 8 and the lion, because I always associate this card with you, because also the 8 is the 8th month when most of you have your birthdays, you know, in August. Could have been something that started all the way back from your birthday. I'm kind of picking that up kind of strong for a lot of Leos. Started all the way back then. You can start to really see it coming in, and that's not surprising with this big lineup in your 10th up here. House of success, career, what you're shooting for in life. All right, Leos, well, thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to check out my website, and if you want to get on that year ahead reading, got a couple weeks left for that, and it'll be gone till next year. All right, next we're going to move on to the sign of Virgo. Well, Virgo, you know, the solstice every year is down here in your 5th house of love, romance, career. Love, romance, fun, entertainment, children, and stuff like that. Mercury's retrograde, so you may be hearing from an old love, or they may be crossing your mind as you're reminiscing with your cocoa by the fireplace. That's what they're showing. With your snuggly warm blankie and your cocoa or your hot cider or whatever you're drinking. A hot toddy, the guide said. There's an old tune, old term. Saturn is in your 7th house, so a lot of long-term partnerships are being established and figured out, and relationships. You may be thinking fondly, you know, you may, if you've been strained with the Saturn through the 7th, with your partnership, you may recapture that with the Mercury retrograde and the Sun moving here. You may recapture that happy romantic moments or happy romantic times or something, nostalgia. Venus in the 3rd house, you're coming off great, even though Mercury is retrograde, which is one of your ruling planets, but you're coming off great. You got the silver tongue, the guide said, you know, with the Venus going through your 3rd, and to influence friends and people, they're saying, but really this is in your 9th house. There could be a really nice connection with this Moon, Jupiter, and Uranus forged between your mental mind and your higher consciousness, if you are doing that kind of hermit thing where you're hanging out by the fire and stuff like that. You might really get some like nice downloads or something. What I'm getting is, if some messages come into your mind, if you're nostalgically thinking about like a past love or something, know that they're thinking about you too. You're catching a wave there. You're catching a message. Here we go. We've got the King of Cups, water sign energy. could be somebody in your 7th house. And that Magician, you're chomping at the bit. You want to get moving, you want to get going. Mercury's retrograde, so it's better to plan. Maybe, I mean, sometimes it's unavoidable. Like I've always said, I don't bring my life to a screeching halt because Mercury's retrograding. But it is you and Gemini, it rules over you, so there is a little bit more of an influence, but still. King of Cups, somebody of importance, and you guys are full steam ahead. You feel really empowered by it. I can't help going over here by this. It draws me to the Saturn in the 7th. Could be some soulmate karmic relationship showing up. Big support. But also you've got the Venus in the 3rd, so it could be like a sibling or a peer or one of your neighbors or somebody who's in your immediate environment. But being a king, it's usually somebody like a little higher up, and I'm really getting like this guy can work magic or this person can work magic, and they can really give you a boost and help you move forward on whatever you're trying to move forward with, Virgos. Okay, don't forget about the 2024 year ahead readings, only available till the end of this month, December. And then it'll be shut down till next year. Next, we're going to move on to the sign of Libra. Well, like I say, you are all, like I always say, you guys are one of the cardinal signs, one of the cardinal cross. Therefore, here's you, Libra, Aries, Capricorn, Cancer. You'll always feel that energy, a lot. You really feel it maybe a little bit more than other people. What happens at this time of year? The sun moves into your 4th house, so the emphasis is on home and family. But it's also these foundations, making these foundations in our life, revisiting the past with Mercury retrograde, thinking about what we want to change, what we want to do new in the new year. We've got Saturn in the 5th, so things that we're imagining we could really make solid, strong, solid. Relationships with children can be really forged stronger. We could get really serious about our art and doing our work, our creative work. Venus in the 2nd here, this is the money house. You've got some nice money lineups here. But we've got the Moon, Jupiter, and Uranus in the 8th. Yeah, with this tie-in, definitely some money things, maybe some money investors or something. Maybe some money investor wants to invest in some of your creative work, or you get a grant, or something like that. Or, somebody's getting signed. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. It used to be a thing, to get signed to a label, for instance, but now it's kind of like, why? Why bother? A lot of people don't want to deal with a label. But anyways, back to you. And, well, Libras, a lot of you are creatives. I wouldn't be surprised that it could be something like signed to a label. And maybe it is beneficial for you, but Mercury retrograde, look over the options. But I had another thought about this. Don't lose it. Come on. Oh, the 8th house is like sexuality, intimacy, those kinds of things, too. So it could be a tie-in to your relationship. Be forging a relationship strong, or you could be realizing that maybe these kind of things aren't such a good fit for you anymore, and maybe they aren't going to be a good fit for you in the long term. That maybe you have really different changing ideas that can't be reconciled. That's what they're saying. Okay, but let's go ahead and get your 2 cards for our Libras for the upcoming season. 10 of Swords, yikes, and 6 of Pentacles. Well, if you've been you're going to get some help, some financial help, for whatever this is. Some of you, if there's been some kind of big medical thing, I'm feeling that there could be some kind of, assistance, some kind of a fund. Maybe if you are underinsured or didn't have insurance and some big thing went down. This does feel that way, and I usually don't read this card that way, but it does feel like somebody, that you could have, there's help available. There's financial help available to this whole thing of whatever's got you down so far, whatever you're worried about or whatever's got you down, whether it be financial. I feel like for somebody got hit with an unexpected medical bill, and it's a big one. But you can get a lot of that eradicated with this program, or you have to look into it. Most hospitals have a financial office that you can go to, and they'll tell you all the options. And with this, it's interesting here because this big stellium in your 8th house here, this could absolutely be some kind of financial help like that from some kind of outside source, some group or something. Or maybe if you're just at the end of your rope and you just can't find a job, you'll hear the news that you got the job, or you're trying to make a sale. This feels like you're at the end of your rope on something, and then there is some kind of financial thing that comes in, some kind of financial help or blessings that makes things better. Okay, Libra, well, thanks for tuning in. If you want to get into your head reading, check it out through my website, vickieverlie.com. Next, we're going to move on to the sign of Scorpio, who is very much involved in this whole thing. But let's start first with the solstice itself. Every year, the solstice moves into, the sun moves into your third house of communication, messaging, siblings, sending those letters, your mind and your thoughts. Because the Mercury's retrograde, maybe it's not the best time, but it is the best time to go through. And I just did this too. I'm Scorpio rising. I'm working on a new deck, and I'm using Procreate. I'm not that far. I'm kind of semi-new to Procreate. I've been doing it for several months now, but there's a whole bunch of things that I'm like, man, I should have did it this way. I should have grouped these into a group, like in folders and blah, blah, blah. So I went through 50-some cards, and I reorganized all of them, got them all back into groups, and it's nice and neat and organized, and all the Virgo in my chart really needs that stuff. I have a lot of Virgo in my chart, too. So it's all in the Capricorn in my chart, too. So that's what I did with this energy just recently, and it's a good time to do stuff like that, something that needs to be edited or fixed, or even just going through and organizing all your papers, maybe your year-end papers for getting your taxes together or whatever it might be. This is a good time to go over things from the past and maybe make plans for the future, but go back and do that thing. And it might be kind of tedious and like long, like, oh, I don't want to do this, because Saturn is in your 5th house after all. Saturn's in the 5th. Long-term relationships with children and childlike things, creativity, but also establishing, like with me, I'm putting out, it's a creative endeavor, this deck, right? And then I want to go back and fix it and make sure it's just the best I can possibly make it be. Okay, the other thing with the Moon, Jupiter, and the Uranus is all in your 7th house of partnerships too. So a lot of times Capricorn, I'm calling you Capricorn, Scorpio. A lot of times Scorpio, you want, because the sun's in Capricorn, but you're like, I'd just rather do it myself. If you can't do it right, don't do it. I'll get out of my way. You might be. My kids clued me in on this year later that they used to do that. I just can't figure out this washing. They just couldn't, and I would just get, here, just let me do it. So they were totally playing me. They were working me. They were playing me with their knaving ignorance. Oh, I don't know how I can't. And then I would just say, just let me do it. Go on. So this isn't the time to be that way, though, Scorpio. Scorpio, you have that tendency. This is the time to let others in, let help in surprising ways. Here, I heard that again. In the most delightful way. That was in the very beginning, I heard that song. It's a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Well, that's like you got to take the good with the bad, Oh, these two want to come, so I'm going to let them. I'm going to let these be your 2 cards. Okay, so here's your 2 cards, Scorpio. You got that there may have been a long-standing conflict or something. And, there's a fire sign energy that is clearing the way or alleviating it. Normally, I would say this might be leading up to that, like in the time of Sag, and perhaps it is. But, there's somebody here who can help. Maybe it's an outsider looking in who can see the bigger picture. They may be a fire sign person, a Leo, an Aries, or a Sagittarius. They may be somebody who showed up in the time of Sag, and then after this solstice ingress, because the sun was in Sag just prior, right? And then bam, it goes 0 Capricorn. Then they're offering, they're like, well, I've looked it over, or maybe even an accountant or an attorney, and they're just like, well, because I hear them saying, well, I've looked it over, like you've got this, there's this tangled mess or something here, and he's looked it over here, they've looked it over, and they've got a solution for you. And they can see the bigger picture, and it's going to be very helpful. This could absolutely be the 7th house person that's coming in. That's going to be a big help to you over the next upcoming few months here. But overall, really positive for you, Scorpios. Let others in. A lot of partnership and health stuff. It's funny I said health, but I meant help stuff. Don't forget about the year ahead reading. And next we're going to move on to the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you're such a crazy pants. That song, it was months ago. That's actually a song I sing to my dog, who is also a Sagittarius. But I do it, Rocky Rocco, He's such a crazy pants. And one time it came out in your reading, and now it's like I hear it almost every time now. So now it's the official Sagittarius song. Sagittarius, you're such a crazy pants. Okay, crazy pants. Let's go, Sag. What do we got here? Oh, we're going to talk about astrology first, and we got to turn the wheel. It's a turn of the wheel. It's a turn. It's a change of the seasons, right? The actual ingress itself moves from your sign, so where you're empowered anyway, with the sun in your sign, everybody's shining on you, and you're in the spotlight, and then it moves into your second house. This part is true every year, so you will see maybe financial gains. If Mercury weren't retrograding, we would be like, yeah, let's sign those contracts, let's make those big financial moves. But now you might be thinking about what the moves are going to make, and be in talks, or drafting a contract, or drafting a business plan, or something like that that's going to bring in this second house money rewards. This big lineup over here is in your sixth house of work and health. So health should feeling really robust while Jupiter's still there. But Uranus here, this could be some unexpected. Don't be afraid to think outside the box as far as your work and stuff. I feel like there's new avenue revenue streams that you have, untapped revenue streams, especially for those of you who are self-employed and entrepreneurs and things like that. There's some untapped revenue streams. And I'm seeing like little tchotchkes and stuff, so maybe it's different kinds of merch or things like that, that you could market or sell or something. Sextiling the Saturn the 4th, so feeling really grounded in your home and family and feeling really solid there, and positive vibes for that holiday season. This Venus thing is with the Uranus is going from your 12th, the Venus coming out of your 12th, so it could be some past love shows up somewhere with Uranus. Maybe it's just on social media, through the computer, but maybe it's actually you hear from them, talk to them, message them or something, or maybe they're just in your thoughts and hearts, Maybe not even a love, it could be a loved one, for many, because that's very common at this time of year, right? All right, Sagittarius. Let's get you 2 cards. Okay, crazy pants, Saggies. Let's see what we got here. Magician and the money, 6 of Pentacles. So go for that money thing. I feel like that's what I was picking up here. These avenues. I keep wanting to say avenues, but it's streams of revenue streams. But I keep wanting to say avenues. So maybe it's avenues for some. There may be some weird connection to avenues. I don't know what it might be. But, if somebody out there it might apply to, because they keep wanting me to say that. Well, avenues could also be avenues, we're going to try this avenue, like this different idea or something like that. You're really charged up to do it, and I do feel like it could be very successful. I do see a return on your investment. I do see that money coming in and that abundance coming in from whatever you're setting out into the world. And this is the time, with that second house being so activated by the solstice. All right, Sagittarius, that's your brief look at the solstice reading. Don't forget about the year ahead if you want to go a little deeper of what's coming up for you. Only available for a couple weeks. Next, we're going to move on to Capricorn. Well, this is your ingress, Cappy, so you're feeling it, baby. Now, even if you are a January Capricorn, if your birthday is in January, this is still a powerful point for you, because the energy is getting activated at that, and those zeros are powerful activation points. Mercury is retrograde in there, so it could be always, we're going back over these old things, etc., etc. We're rethinking these things from the past, these kinds of things. Rethinking ourselves, rethinking our thoughts. With the Saturn in the 3rd, some of you may be doing some big project, like writing a book, or, like I've got a few decks in the works here, or writing a book, or decks, or putting together some kind of a podcast, or some kind of thing, mercurial, communicational kind of thing. And Mercury's retrograde, so it's a good time to maybe more think about it, do a little bit more planning, go over your notes, they're saying go over it with a fine-tooth comb. All this Venus and this other stuff here is all in your 5th house, so lots of fun to be had. You can put the work down for a minute, Capricorn. Put the work down. Step away from the work, okay, Cappies? Step away from that work. Have a little fun and enjoyment. Get in the holiday spirit. A lot of, Venus love energy coming out of your social houses of the 5th and the 11th, socializing with people, romance, fun, creativity. You know, if you are writing a book or doing some kind of big thing like that, you know, your creativity is really getting a big charge up there too, and a nice sextile. And you could really get put those words to paper. That's what they're saying. I mean, maybe it's probably not a paper. It's probably a keyboard and a screen for most of us, right? But anyways, let's go ahead and get the 2 cards for the upcoming Capricorn solstice energy. King of Cups and the Justice card. So King of Cups is a positive person, maybe 5th house romance. It might be some kind of romance, or from your friend group, for the water energy of the Scorpio house. Could be some friend group that you're associated with up here. But this is big time. Well, they're definitely bring some kind of happiness. I heard we closed the deal, and I know that's music to Capricorn's ears, right? It feels like somebody's coming in here and they're saying, we closed the deal, you know, we closed the deal, and then there's this justice thing. Now, I would, signing contracts, especially Mercury retrograde in your sign, might not be the best time. I mean, again, we can't just put our whole life on hold every time Mercury goes retrograde. But justice can just also feel, it feels like there's this big sense of completion around this. And it's like, we're happy. It's almost like this guy's showing up with a bottle of champagne or something, you know, some kind of this cup, like it's like we're toasting, we're going to toast the champagne, or we're going to, and it's just like, oh, the deal's closed. We feel like, so we're happy, but we're also like, this, it feels like this isn't just you won the drawing or something. This is something that you've been, feels like working working tirelessly for, the guides are saying. So, but it does feel like absolutely good news, very positive. And that is about what we've got for this reading for Capricorn. If you want to go deeper and look at your own personal year ahead, available for a limited time for a few more weeks. If you haven't got yours and you would like to, visit my website. That's the only way. I won't solicit you for readings with Messenger or anything else. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to do Aquarius. Well, the solstice itself always moves into your 12th house at this time. So it brings about that whole holiday thing of that quiet, that peace. You know, the Mercury's there, the Mercury retrograde, voices of Christmas past. I'm hearing people from the past, memories. Memories like the corners of my mind, misty watercolor, memories of the way we were. And then scattered pictures. I think some of you might be flipping through some pictures, you know, looking at some old stuff and that. Saturn's in your 2nd house, though, so don't be reminiscing too long, because Saturn the 2nd wants you to lay down really strong foundations for your money and stuff like that, you know, earnings, money, abundance. So the long-term plans are being thought of, maybe revisiting something from the past as far as that goes, even, you know, some kind of old plan or idea, reworking it or revising it. Big lineup down here in the 4th, so home and family, major area of focus, of course, and a lot of abundance in that area. Could get a call, you know, something unsurprising or wonderful, that you get some news or some kind of a kudos, the guides want me to say, that boosts you up as far as your career and money goes, something like that. It feels like some of you are watching something on TV. Maybe you're watching a stock that you know, wow, my stock just went through the roof. But maybe some of you are going to get some kind of like a boost, like if you're in social media, maybe somebody's going to share your video, or, you know, and you're going to be like, oh wow, look, or they hearted my video, or they hearted my, you know, my post or something. Could be something like that for some people, because this is, you know, the 10th house there. Okay, let's go ahead and get the 2 cards for Aquarius for the upcoming season. Got moving on from difficult times, or an actual journey towards 2 of Cups, soulmate card. So 2 of Cups, you are going to be surrounded by love. It's going to be different for everybody. In the chart, there's more of an emphasis on the home and family love, but of course, you know, that's all going to be there too. Maybe if you are in a relationship, your loved one or partner could really give you some kind of beautiful gift or some beautiful, nice boost, you know, something that makes you feel really special and acknowledged and noticed and stuff like that, okay? All right, Aquarius, well, don't forget about that year ahead reading, available for a limited time. And next we're going to move on to the sign of Pisces. Well, Pisces, you know, you've got this Saturn in your 1st. This is, let's just start with this. So this is in your 11th house every year when the sun moves from Sag And into the Capricorn, that is your 11th house, friends and associates, money from the career. Mercury's retrograde there, so totally could be hearing from people from the past, you know, old friends, people from the past that you haven't heard from in a while. Saturn's in the first, so you're feeling really grounded and determined, which is giving you that nice grounded and determined energy, because sometimes Pisces, you can be, you know, a little bit, you know, you're a little bit spacey, I guess, you know, but just not grounded. That's this long term, this is a few years cycle where the Saturn's in your first house, but it's getting these nice sextiles. So it's almost like you're really settling into that energy. You're really settling into that grounded energy. Well, here comes your first card. And, you know, you're feeling really grounded. A lot of communication and messaging too with all this third house here. Get out in your local community, visit with people. You can have a lot of fun. You can find some good bargains. You could find about things that you're really interested in, like maybe some kind of a class or seminar or gathering that you want to attend. And it could just be a jolly time for all, they said. I'm going to just do it this way. Now, yeah, don't fall into, because you guys can get real deep into your, you know, that emotion. You're very emotional, the most emotional sign of the whole zodiac. So yeah, people are gone, some people are gone, there's different things going on. The best thing to do is get out and be around people, because 11th house is groups, the third house is communicating in your local area. So don't fall into this too much, you know, get in that Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups also means if you're single, you could totally meet somebody while out and about, or even attending a class or seminar or something like that. Even in your own neighborhood, something really unexpected, or even maybe like a neighborhood, you know, meeting. What are we going to do about the playground down the corner? Or, you know, whatever, those kind of meetings, you know, community meetings, you know. You could maybe, well, meet not only just a love interest maybe, but a good friend, some new friends, or even, you know, a new interest or passion. Maybe it lies in joining this community and group and things like that. If you're feeling down, you know what they're showing me? You remember that, how many remember the old I Love Lucy? And she's like, we're with the Lonely Hearts Club Band. And they all join the Lonely Hearts Club Band. So, you know, I don't know if it's a Lonely Hearts Club meeting or something like that, but it feels positive, you know, don't isolate, in other words. Don't isolate, get out and be around. Saturn can bring that urge to kind of isolate, or that trend, so try not to do that. Try to get out as much as you can, you'll feel better. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Oh, my voice is cracking up, it's early in the morning here. Anyways, don't forget about the year ahead reading, Pisces, because you've got Saturn transiting through your sign. We will definitely dive into that and give you insights on those Saturn transits and other transits. And then it's also a psychic astrology reading. Only have a couple more weeks to go on that one. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great upcoming season, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.